Do I think that the gearbox is dangerous? No. Do I think it speeds the game up in certain aspects? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I think it's an all-court paddle? That's to each player to determine. But the one I hit was it had a I won't provide my personal judgment.
That's probably a good call.
Yeah.
I tried to set you up there, you passed. Dude, you want to talk about the Infinity was released on Friday. The Infinity, the Ruby, and then the Ruby's the Kevlar one. What's the deal with that? What's the deal with Kevlar?
Well, so we'll be first to market with a full 100% DuPont USA made Kevlar face.
Okay.
The deal with that is that face plate provides a subtle yet notable difference in performance. It has a 3K cross-hatched weave, and that, in my opinion, that adds another lift in spin with your peel ply texture. So in general, the properties that define Kevlar over, say, carbon is that the Kevlar is going to be more high impact. It has a higher impact resistance. It's technically a more durable material.
Okay.
So it will last longer and not wear down as quickly. And in terms of playability...
Quick message from one of my favorite sponsors. Actually, the reason they're my favorite sponsors is because I was wearing their clothes even before I started this YouTube channel. If you're like me, you're tired of wearing that like thick, really heavy cotton t-shirt. It's uncomfortable, it's like itchy, it's heavy, it's not really breathable, and it's not really versatile either. What I really like about Vuori is you can buy one of the t-shirts and wear it in whatever you're doing. Maybe you're going out to dinner, maybe you're going out to play a sport, maybe you're just lounging at home. What's great is like that material feels good throughout the entire day. Whether it's the shirts or pullovers, they're all really lightweight and super soft, which makes it great for any activity. Go to vuori.com/buildingpickleball and you'll receive 20% off your first purchase, as well as free shipping on any orders of $75 or more, as well as free returns. Enjoy the rest of the show.
We noticed that it really has an extra, you get an extra level of grab and feel over the ball. It really sort of grabs the ball. But then contrasting with that is this nice crisp pop that comes with that. So it sort of fits between the double black diamond carbon paddle, which is more on the control side, and our black diamond raw fiberglass paddle, which is on the power side. So you get this nice combination of power and control.
Okay.
So and on top of that, it's just a damn sexy paddle. Like it is very, very nice looking paddle.
It sticks out.
Yeah, it's going to stand out for sure. So whether Kevlar ends up replacing carbon, I don't see a fast transition. Like, I think it's going to be a niche product until the majors decide to make a play in that area.
So it sounded like there's like the durability, like the longevity of that face, like the Kevlar lasts longer than, I guess if I'm putting it like layman's terms, it's not like grit. Like, you know how people with like the carbon, they talk about like, oh, the grit's like wearing down. That's not going to happen as quickly with Kevlar?
I don't think so. So you've got your peel ply, which adds a texture. So it's like a sheet or a non-stick sheet that has a texture. Generally, it has to be woven because it's a cloth. It's a cloth or material itself. And that's why when you see those microscopes, people think it's the carbon cloth, but it's actually the impress of what the peel ply cloth is. And then you can get different grades of peel ply cloth that can provide a rougher or a deeper imprint, or a smoother or shallower imprint. And then it can be in different. It can be in whatever pattern or weave can be done. So, for example, the Pro XR paddle, they've got a very unidirectional weave on their peel ply, which has got quite marked ridges are vertically aligned along the paddle, which in a certain direction will generate really good spin. And the reason that paddle is passing the Starrett is that it's very high reading on one direction, but the other direction it's very low. And then they average that out and it's coming in within a legal limit. But getting back to answer your question, the underlying cloth, so in a normal standard unidirectional carbon plate face, all these strands are aligned in unidirection in one direction. So with the Kevlar, it's a cross weave, so those strands that go up and under and so forth will create little ridges and troughs in its own. And then you overlay the peel ply and imprint another texture on top, so you're getting this complex texture created. And which I believe lifts the performance in the initial phases of use, and then you're going to get a longer term residual texture underlying as well.
Probably because like if it's like the unidirectional one, like there's like less amount of, I guess, like fibers, but if like you're doing the crosshatch, you're involving like more like material per like square, like per like that surface area. If the ball were to make contact with it, right? You'd have like more touch points in a way.
Well, I guess so.
Oh,
yeah.
That's how I'm understanding. I'm kind of an idiot when it comes to this stuff, so I need to break it down. I need to break it down like when I'm a 5-year-old.
I mean, there's many different weaves that you can get. Like I think Diadem's released an 18K.
Yeah.
It has sort of a 3D sort of impression.
Oh.
Yeah. So to answer your question, the answer would be yes so when you're talking about cloth per se, my understanding is, for example, a 300K cloth has it relates to the weave count. So a 300K cloth has far less strands per unit area than say a 700K versus an 1800K. So you're getting a much finer weave. Mm-hmm. It's a higher quality product and should in theory be it's more expensive and more durable. But the different weave patterns used in carbon are generally for creating different end results in terms of flex, ability to move the cloth over corners or ridges. It can be used to, if you're trying to get, like I said, certain mechanical properties for your end use. So a unidirectional, I think you probably talked about this. I haven't seen the full RAF interview, but he goes into a bit of that, doesn't he? About talking about if you've got a unidirectional cloth in one direction, it'll be very stiff in one plane.
Oh yeah, the degrees.
And it will be flex in the opposite plane.
That was really interesting.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And I think certainly like that's what we play around with on our edges at different angles. For
you and your dad?
Yeah, well, more in the factory phase.
Oh.
But with my dad, we've just mainly been looking at different core properties in the last 12 months.